Tonight's newest information on the mass shooting at the Washington Navy Yard where 13 people died. Flags at the White House and U.S. Capitol building are lowered to half staff. President Obama ordered they stay that way until Sunday.
Navy Yard workers met family members at the Nationals Park, which is just next door. A small sense of relief after buses brought workers to the stadium parking lot. The Navy says the Washington Navy Yard will be closed until further notice. And we've just learned the victims range in age from 46 to 73. And we've also been looking into the man police say pulled the trigger and was later killed. We'll also hear from the family of Aaron Alexis. And this is a home in Brooklyn, New York, where a relative of Alexis lives. We aren't sure what police are looking for here or what they expect to find.
So how did we get to this point? Well, the first call for help came at 8:20 a.m. Multiple jurisdictions responded. 8 schools were put on lockdown. Flights at Reagan National Airport were temporarily grounded. Authorities told people living nearby to stay in their homes. There were conflicting reports of the number of gunmen, as many as 3. But tonight, the D.C. police chief confirmed Alexis was the sole gunman and that he got into the yard with a valid ID. Again, 13 people are dead, including the alleged gunman.
From Hampton Roads to D.C., we're on your side with live team coverage. Art Kohn is at the nation's capital now. He arrived this afternoon amidst the chaos.
And we'll hear from Jason Marks, who talked to a Virginia Beach woman whose husband was inside the building when the shooting happened. But let's start with Art in Washington live.
Yes, well, Nicole and Tom, in addition to the numbers that we now know about the deceased, we also know we have confirmed that 8 people were injured. Of the 8 people injured, 3 of them suffered gunshot wounds. Of those 3, 1 was a police officer, but we understand that he's recovering from his injuries and is expected to be all right. Also, as you mentioned, the big thing here is investigators say they are now satisfied that the deaths that happened here today occurred. There is one and only one gunman responsible for those deaths, including his own. But now the investigation is continuing inside the Naval Yard. You know, this has been a very long and difficult day for everyone. A very active crime scene has been unfolding at the Washington Naval Yard since the shooting started at a little before 8:30 Monday morning. An army of law enforcement responded, including agents from the FBI, NIS, ATF, and Capitol and Metropolitan Police Departments. They have been going in and out of this historic naval facility. Employees were ordered to secure themselves in their offices and workspaces while investigators looked for what was believed to be possibly 2 other gunmen in addition to the suspect that was shot and killed by police. Investigators now believe, though, there was only 1 shooter. But it wasn't until late afternoon that the first employees were allowed to leave.
Word spread that shots were fired on the yard, and then we went into a lockdown.
This naval petty officer, who did not want to give his name, works in an area near Building 197 where the shootings took place. He said they locked themselves in and tried to gather as much information as they could.
We had TVs and we were watching the news just like everybody else, and that was, you know, a good source of information for us to get a sense of what was going on.
There has been a lot going on in and around the yard all day.
Not enough.
A day that for many could not end fast enough.
It was good. It was good to be home safe.
Yes, and it's a day that's far from over. As I said, investigators are still inside working the crime scene over. But also, the D.C. mayor said just a short time ago that the D.C. police chief, that she expects investigators to be busy in there for another 48 hours. And then you have to keep something in mind, that for a while, as we told you, they weren't sure if there were additional gunmen. So really, it took them a while to clear the building. And the fact is, investigators really haven't been inside building 197 all that long. A lot of work still to be done here. We'll be staying on top of the story for you, reporting live from outside the Washington Naval Yard. Art Kohn, 10 on your side.